Live from historic Dunn Field, it's once again time for Elmira Pioneers baseball, as after a semi-successful doubleheader split with the Newark Pilots yesterday, the Pioneers return home to face off against Newark for a second consecutive night. Good evening, everybody. For Pioneers Pregame Live, I'm Farrell Hudson. We'll have all your live coverage tonight, both pregame and during the game, as the Pioneers go for win number 2 in a row. For Elmira right now, they stand 13-12-1 when all is said and done through 26 ball games. Pioneers still on a bit of a rough skid, 2-7-1 in their last 10, 3.5 games out of first place Batavia, who's cruised 7-3 in their last 10. The Batavia Muck Dogs coming in at 17-9, which gives us a look at our PGCBL West Division standings. The Batavia Muck Dogs in first place, 17-9. They've won 1 in a row. Niagara Falls has lost on the flip side. They lost to Batavia last night from Sal Magley Stadium. The final score, or rather, Niagara Falls 7-3 in their last 10. Auburn 15-9-3. They're in second place, or third place, shall I say, trailing both Batavia and Niagara, who are tied atop the lead for first place in the PGCBL West Division. Auburn 4-4-2 in their last 10 ball games. They lost to Geneva last night from Falcon Park. The Jamestown Tarpskunks at 15-10. They've won 5 in a row, now 7-3 in their last 10 ball games. They're just ahead of the Elmira Pioneers, who trail Jamestown by 2 games, so getting to crunch time, 20 regular season games remaining on the Pioneers' schedule, 8 of those coming in a doubleheader format. Elmira 13-12-1, although they've defended home field incredibly nice at Dunn so far this season. 8-4-1, so only losses in 4 of 13 ball games right here at the Dunn. The Newark Pilots at 11-11-1. A tough start for them, especially considering, or rather, a tough back end of the first half of the season. They started off 7-1-1 in their opening 9 ball games. Since then, they are 4-10 in their last 14. The Geneva Red Wings at 7-17-1, checking in 7th place. They've won 2 in a row. 6-3-1 now in their last 10. And the Niagara Ironbacks rounding out at 3-21, 13 games back of first place Batavia. They've lost 5 in a row now, 1-9 in their last 10. Let's take a look over at the PGCBL Eastern Division standings. The Amsterdam Mohawks at 18-6-1, to nobody's surprise, 74% win percentage. 2 wins in a row, 6 in their last 10. Saugerties coming in second place, 14-10. They've won 2 in a row, 4 games back of first place Amsterdam, 5-5 in their last 10 ball games. Boonville at third place, 14-10-1, 4 games back as well. They've lost 1 in a row, 5 wins in their last 10. Mohawk Valley rounding out that final playoff spot in the East at 13-11-1 across 25 ball games, 5 games back of first place Amsterdam, 5 wins in their last 10 as well. Utica 9-11-1 in 5th place, 7 games back of Amsterdam. They've lost 2 in a row. Only 4 losses in their last 10 though, 5-4-1 are the Blue Sox. The Glens Falls Dragons at 9-14 and the Oneonta Outlaws. A bit of a tough go-round for them. They are 4-19 in their opening 23 ball games this season. Let's get you a look at our out-of-town scoreboard tonight. 7-4, the Jamestown Tarpskunks ahead of the Niagara Ironbacks in the bottom of the 3rd inning from George Taylor Field in St. Catharines, Ontario. The Geneva Red Wings right back at the Auburn Doubledays tonight. No score in that ball game. Niagara Falls and Batavia getting underway just shortly, and the Newark Pilots and the Elmira Pioneers right here from Dunn Field. Over in the East Division, 2 ball games tonight. Utica at Mohawk Valley. Again, the Diamond Dogs holding down that final playoff spot, and the Saugerties Stallions taking on the Oneonta Outlaws from Damashki Field in Oneonta, New York. Let's take a look at some of the individual statistical leaderboards so far in the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League. And up there for the Pioneers is Brett Baker. He's had quite the impact across 5 ball games so far. Only 13 plate appearances for Brett, but 6 hits, possessing a .462 batting average, .615 slug percentage, and 1115 collective OPS. Dynamite has been Baker. Only 1 strikeout in those 13 plate appearances as well. You want to take a look at a couple other Elmira Pioneers. TJ Grimesti, to no one's surprise, 25 games and 80 at-bats. He's registered 31 hits, 14 RBIs while walking 13 times. A homer in that process for Grimesti as well, whose batting average and collective offensive statistics are just through the roof. A 1030 OPS. He's got a .525 on base percentage to go along with a .388 batting average. He's gotten plunked 6 times, and the strikeouts incredibly minimal for Grimesti. Only a 10% strikeout rate for him. 8 strikeouts in his opening 80 plate appearances. We mentioned the Jamestown Tarpskunks, who have had quite the climb as of late, and a couple of the players that have been getting it done for them all season are Justin Bremner and Dom Costello. They're both 24th and 25th respectively in batting average for Frank Jagoda's squad, but those two are really driving the way for a Tarpskunks team that's gotten into that last spot in the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League West Division. You look at Justin Bremner, he's had 33 or 24 games, shall I say, 33 hits, scorching hot with the bat, 20 RBIs, only 9 strikeouts, possessing a 371 batting average, a 528 on-base percentage to go along with a 979 OPS. And then you take a look at Dom Costello in Jamestown as well, 364 batting average, a 394 on-base percentage for the aforementioned. So it's going to be a bit of a tight race for the Elmira Pioneers. They understand that, as we spoke about our standings. As of now, where the playoff matchups lead today, in the East Division, number 1 Amsterdam would take on number 4 Mohawk Valley. That would be the Perfect Game Collegiate League East Division semifinals. Number 2 seed Saugerties would take on number 3 seed Boonville. But to the more important stuff, in the West Division, the number 1 seeded Batavia Muck Dogs would take on the Jamestown Tarpskunks. Number 2 Niagara taking on number 3 Auburn. So a lot of ground to be made up for the Pioneers, considering you do have 3 games remaining against the Tarpskunks, but the majority of your games are on the road. They understand that the Pioneers, it hasn't been necessarily a strong suit for them. Only 5 wins in 13 ball games. But overall, yesterday, Pioneers offense a little bit tough to watch in Game 1, as they couldn't scrape across a run, and that's unfortunate because Brendan Hayes had a really strong start for the Pioneers. And you look at Hayes' final line over 6 innings of work, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, while walking 2 and striking out 7. The good news is for the Pioneers this evening, they'll turn the ball over to their southpaw, Owen Hoyt, the sophomore out of the University of Oswego. As we get to our pitching matchup this evening, it'll be Owen Hoyt for the Pioneers against the right-hander Logan Bowman for the Newark Pilots. Owen Hoyt on the season 1-0 with a .93 ERA across 2 starts, 9 2/3 innings of work. He's allowed only 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned on 4 walks and 11 strikeouts. He's pitching to an opposing batting average of 147. So Hoyt, dynamite for Elmira. And then you look on the end of Logan Bowman for the Newark Pilots. Bowman, the best pitcher on this Newark starting staff, 1-0 across 5 appearances, 13 innings pitched. He's got 12 hits allowed to his name, 2 earned runs, 4 walks. He struck out 5, so not a strikeout, but a contact pitcher, pitching to an opposing batting average of 245. Yesterday, Pioneers saw Brady King come in relief in 2 games. King taking that loss in Game 2. Pioneers strung together 4 runs, 10 appearances for Brady King. He's the appearance leader so far on the season for the Newark Pilots, and King has only appeared in 14 1/3 innings of work. All 10 appearances for him have come in relief, so you would imagine that the Pioneers would not see him as much tonight. Pioneers saw Calvin Burkholder in Game 1 of the doubleheader yesterday, who was masterful across 6 innings of work for Burkholder. He was really, really strong. 4 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. So kind of going back to that contact pitcher thing that the Pioneers have certainly used to their advantage. We know there are high leverage strikeout guys like Brendan Hayes, who has that nasty sweeper. He executed it once again yesterday. Pioneers are going to certainly hope they get that out of him. So should be an incredibly nice pitching matchup tonight. You have 2 aces in the staff going against one another. Hoyt and Bowman, a battle for 5th place. Pioneers 2 games out of 4th place Jamestown, which holds the final playoff spot, and the Newark Pilots only 2.5 games behind Jamestown, half a game behind the Elmira Pioneers. So getting a crunch time for sure, and we'll give you the starting lineups for both squads. First with the Newark Pilots, Nick DiGiacomo, the center fielder, will lead things off. Cooper Loyle's the shortstop, he'll bat second. Anthony Hector is the second baseman, he'll bat third. Grant Ingram at third base will bat fourth. Brady King is the EH, he'll bat fifth. Parker Zeiser doing the catching, he'll bat sixth. Alex Wooten at first base will bat seventh. Jacob Paletto in left field will bat eighth. Liam Wagner is the designated hitter, he'll bat ninth. And Jason Brown rounding out the batting order, batting 10th. Let's get to your Elmira Pioneers starting lineup. Aiden Grabowski, the shortstop, will lead things off. Ty Martineau is the designated hitter. He'll bat second. TJ Grimesti in right field will bat third. Michael Palmer in the cleanup spot again tonight from first base. Brandon Dubeck is the EH. He'll bat fifth. Brandon, just a scorching hot on-base percentage on the season. Brett Baker, the center fielder, will bat sixth. We alluded to Brett's immense impact since his arrival here in the soaring capital of the world. The junior out of Chelmsford, Massachusetts, who attends the University of Massachusetts at Dartmouth with right-handed Pioneers reliever Sam Watts. Carl Wagner, who's been one of the hottest hitters for the Pioneers, now fifth in Elmira, or on the Pioneers, shall I say, in batting average, with a 308 average coming into tonight's ball game. John Simmons, who hit his first round tripper this season against the Auburn Double Days right here from Dunn Field on Thursday night. He gets the start at third base tonight as usual, batting eighth. Anthony Manganiello in left field will bat ninth, and rounding out the batting order is Brendan Hammer, who's been one of the more consistent at-bats for the Pioneers this season. Yesterday, worked a 9-pitch count like it was nothing, really provides that offensive stability. He's bounced between the middle of the order and the bottom of the order, but really a perfect guy that you can insert into that spot prior to the top of the batting order, and we know that Aiden Grabowski's contribution has been arguably as good as TJ Gramesti's, and you know when you're talking about TJ Gramesti having the slightest bit of a cool-off the last couple games and still batting well over 400, well, you know you have your dynamic duo right there. But enough talking on our part. Let's get to what the manager has to say. In today's version of the Clubhouse Report, I got to speak to your manager of the Elmira Pioneers, Andy Drum.
Pleased to be joined on Pioneers Pregame Live by the head coach of your Elmira Pioneers, and Andy Drum, prior to tonight's ball game with the Newark Pilots. Coach, starting off, overall thoughts on the pair of games last night in Newark?
I thought Hayes pitched an awesome game. We didn't give him any support offensively. Got to get some more runs in. I thought game two, we did a really good job of fighting back those last two innings. An electric finish there for us, so awesome to come out of there with a sweep.
Arguably Brendan's best start of the season. What was working so well for him?
His slider was nasty yesterday. He had those hitters off balance with the slider all game. He should have came out of there with a win, realistically. We need to score some runs, play a little bit better defense, but he pitched really good yesterday.
Overall thoughts on Calvin Burkholder for Newark in terms of his command of the zone and pitch repertoire that kept you guys so off balance in game one?
Yeah, honestly, his fastball topped out at 80. I thought we should have really been barreling him up a little bit more. He hit his spots well, he mixed it up well, and kept the hitters off balance. We didn't really hit a ball solid all game in the first game.
You mentioned Calvin Burkholder only throwing 80 miles an hour. Is that a little bit of what was throwing you guys off, maybe the slower pitch speed?
Yeah, it could have been. Especially after seeing Auburn, a bunch of guys coming out pumping low 90s, and we were barreling those guys up too. We hit velocity well. We need to start sitting back on the softer stuff and be able to hit our line drives.
Overall thoughts on Luke Horton pitching for the Pioneers for the first time in a while yesterday in game two of the doubleheader?
I thought Luke did pretty well. We didn't give him too much support defensively. Had a rough inning there in the third. Moved on to Roxby pretty quickly, and Roxby looked amazing out of the bullpen yesterday.
What was it about Andrew Roxby out of the bullpen that looked so good? Now his second consecutive really strong relief outing.
The big thing with Roxby is he comes out, he throws strikes early, gets ahead, keeps the hitters off balance, and he wants the ball in his hands, so we're going to keep feeding it to him.
Carl Wagner, 3 for his last 7 in the last 2 games, up to 5th in terms of batting average for the Pioneers. He had an RBI double in the top of the 7th yesterday, 3 on Thursday. What's changed with his approach?
The big thing with Carl, he doesn't chase anything out of the zone, and actually all 4 of our catchers have a really good eye at the plate, like even Brandon Dubeck too. I think his on-base percentage is up around 600. He's got a lot of walks this year. Same thing with Carl, like they just don't chase bad pitches, so they're always going to give us a good at-bat.
Do you feel like their understanding of command of the zone is what makes them a tougher at-bat at the plate?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Like I said, they just don't chase anything out of the zone. They'll expand with 2 strikes and make sure they battle for us, but early in the count, they don't ever chase anything out of the zone.
One of the best welcome additions has been Brett Baker, 3 hits in his last 7 plate appearances across yesterday's doubleheader. What is it that's making Brett so locked in at the plate?
I really like Brett's approach. He's not trying to do too much up there. He's just thinking middle backside, and he hits the ball hard every single time. He keeps his barrel in the zone a long time, and he's had some really good at-bats since he got here.
I know you mentioned limiting the big inning, but on the flip side, are you almost relieved that yesterday, following a 2-run bottom of the 3rd in game 1, 4-run bottom of the 3rd in game 2, you guys didn't allow that one big inning to snowball?
Yeah, for sure. A lot of times we end up giving up 2, and that turns into 5, 6, 7. So I think it was just the one bad inning with 4 yesterday. Besides that, we played pretty clean baseball.
How important is the emphasis upon the pitching staff to pitch to contact? We know many of the high leverage arms you like to utilize out of the bullpen and how many guys they can strike out, but how much of a relief is that having just kind of a defense to that, each guy anchored at their relative position?
Right. If we go out there and pitch to contact, hitters are going to make mistakes, especially in a wood bat league. Hitters are going to miss hit balls. Our defense plays well. I think we're sitting right around 960 right now with the fielding percentage, so we play really solid defense. Pitchers just got to keep pitching to contact and let the defense work for them.
On the offensive side, Ty Martineau's been very consistent with the batting average. What are you seeing from Ty's plate approach that makes you so comfortable putting him in any situation?
Ty puts the ball in play. Doesn't strike out much. Great approach. He knows the situation too. A lot of times with runners in scoring position, if he gets the 2 strikes, he'll just roll over one to get the run in. So really good understanding of the situation.
Looking ahead to tonight's ball game, Owen Hoyt takes the hill in front of an anticipated large crowd here at Dunn Field. What are you looking to see from your newly acquainted southpaw in what will be only his second home start of the season?
We're always excited when Owen steps on the mound. He's a dog for us. He wants the ball, commands the zone, and just attacks the hitter. So we're very excited to watch him throw again tonight.
Awesome, Coach. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
A dog who commands the zone and attacks the hitter, stuff you always like to hear and stuff that a skipper can certainly rely on when he has his starting pitcher in the ball game. And overall for the Pioneers, Coach Drum alluding to that the lack of strikeouts is what keeps him putting Ty Martineau in the lineup. And yeah, he's got absolutely a point right now as you only look at Ty Martineau. He's only struck out so far 6 times across 44 ball games. His on-base percentage at .367. You want to talk about another guy with a strong on-base percentage and a bit of an offensive resurgence following a bit of a slow start. That's none other than Jacob Moniz, who is a fantastic second baseman defensively. He's been getting a lot of time with Brendan Hammer, predominantly Brendan Hammer getting the start at the second base position. You've seen John Simmons, third base basically locked down as his. That's, for that matter, the entire left side of the infield, as you have John Simmons at third, Aiden Grabowski at shortstop. Left field relatively interchangeable. You know that Brett Baker can play a little bit left when you slide Dylan Fatovich into his normal spot in center. Ben Rohde also on the Pioneers depth chart in the outfield. Anthony Manganiello, when he's not doing the catching, he's more prone to being in the outfield. TJ Grimesti more in that EH/right field role, although he's still caught some games behind the plate. Right now, the depth chart of Pioneers catching. Carl Wagner getting the brunt of the time behind the plate. We mentioned what an offensive contribution he's had the last couple of days, and that's why he keeps getting optioned in at the catcher position too. So good to know for the Pioneers and Andy Drum that he's provided safety with 4 different catchers, and that's a similar story to the Pioneers. And what a 7-inning doubleheader does is it gives you a lot of confidence, especially with an off day on Monday. You have tonight's 9-inning ball game. Tomorrow you travel on the road to Geneva, which leads us to our upcoming Pioneer schedule, the next 5 ball games. They play Newark tonight, at Geneva tomorrow, an off day, and then it's backwards here at Dunn Field. Geneva on Tuesday night, Newark on Wednesday night, another off day sandwiched in on Thursday prior to a hectic weekend next weekend. You have the Batavia Muck Dogs back in Batavia on Friday. It's been a rough go-round for the Pioneers across 2 ball games in Batavia this season. A 10-5 loss last Saturday, a 13-1 loss back on May 31st. Pioneers will travel there twice more this season, and then on Saturday you go up to Niagara Falls to Sal Magley Stadium again, a place in which you split the doubleheader with the Niagara Falls Americans last week, the 3-0 victory when Bobby Boeing pitched his heart out across 5 innings in Game 1, and then the 7-6 unfortunate loss. A game, though, in which the Pioneers were down 7-2 and got to a 1-run ball game, and then you come home next Sunday for another doubleheader, welcoming in the last place Niagara Ironbacks. So certainly a bit of a tough schedule for the Pioneers upcoming, but we mentioned kind of those players in the middle of the diamond and the infield and outfield, and Carl Wagner doing the catching. But back to Jacob Moniz for a second. You look at Moniz overall, a .290 batting average across 12 games. His slug percentage is down from where he'd like it to be. A strong fielding percentage north of .950, an on-base percentage of .425, 9 hits for Jacob Moniz on the season with 4 RBIs across only 31 plate appearances. So he's made quite the immense contribution since his arrival in Elmira. That will do it for this brief version of Pioneers Pregame Live, but be sure to tune in here on the Elmira Pioneers Baseball Network, as in just about 10 to 15 minutes we'll have all your live coverage tonight between the Newark Pilots and the Elmira Pioneers from Dunn Field. For now, I'm Farrell Hudson saying so long.